I want to open this video with a question, and feel free to answer it now in the comments or think about it throughout the video or whatever you want to do. But my main question is, how much does it matter to you when you feel like you know for sure how a match is going to end? How much does it matter when the ending, not necessarily how it ends, but the winner is completely predictable in your eyes, where you feel like there is no chance it goes any other way except the way that you believe is super obvious? The main reason I bring that up is because with the opening match, Cody Rhodes versus AJ Styles, I saw a lot of people taking issue with the fact that, oh, we know how this is going to end. There's no way Cody Rhodes is going to quit. What's the point of this match? It's just obvious. AJ Styles is going to be the one to lose, obviously, because he's going to go to TNA or whatever. I got so tired of seeing it. Thankfully, none of you that showed up to my YouTube stream when we were watching it live, none of you were really being like that. It's really what I've been seeing elsewhere, whether it be on TikTok, Twitter, whatever, of all these people hating on this match so much just because they knew what the ending was going to be. And as someone like Santi has said so many times recently, just because something is predictable doesn't mean it's bad, and just because something is unpredictable doesn't mean it's good. You can know how the end is going to go, and that match can still be fire. And I think that match was really cool. This was the first time I had ever seen an I Quit match. I didn't really know what to expect. My assumption is that we would go into this match and it would still be pinfall or submission, and whoever loses has to quit. I think I'm thinking of loser leaves town. Maybe that's kind of what I was thinking of, is that whatever the result would be what leads to the quitting. I did not expect it to be a situation where the ref was going to be walking around with a microphone asking if they quit. I found that funny, a little silly, but I really liked it. So I found it silly in a fun way. I actually did think that was a cool way to do it. But as for it being predictable, I just didn't care. I was really just curious of how it was going to happen, because the way AJ has been portraying his character, it didn't feel like it was going to be an easy and obvious way for him to quit. It really felt like he was leaving it all on the line, but it also felt like, you know, Cody was never going to quit. So it really felt like it was going to be two unstoppable objects coming at each other. And that's kind of why it ended a little bit weird for me. I saw some other people share the same feelings, but something about him cowering from the idea of being hit by the steps and quitting instead of quitting while getting pounded on, that felt a little bit weird. I feel like that kind of weakened AJ for me a little bit in my head. I understand that heels can be kind of cowardly, so it kind of fits his character a little bit. But I don't know. I kind of wish he would have been getting beaten up on and then quit. There was just something that hit a little bit weird with him cowering in fear, saying I quit before even getting hit by the steps. I do like that Cody hit him with the steps afterwards. I don't believe that's any sort of a heel turn, but it is showing that Cody's patience for this kind of behavior, the way AJ made this match even exist, his patience is wearing thin, and I like that in his character. The other set of comments that I'm just straight up not gonna hear is that Cody's reign has been super boring. Like, I love Roman Reigns, but all of this hate saying like, oh man, it's so much worse now that Roman's not here, acting like Roman was here every week putting on a show the way Cody has been, is very strange to me. And I know this isn't really the topic of the video, but those of you that also are pointing at the "we want Roman" chants as a reason why Cody's reign sucks, you're actually just wrong. I'm gonna make this very clear, because this isn't even subjective. This is just truly objective reality. Ask yourself, when does the crowd chant "we want Roman"? Is it when Cody's on stage? No. Is it when Cody's on the microphone? No. Oh, it must be when Cody is in the ring getting ready to do a match. That's when they chant "we want Roman," right? No. In fact, the crowd never chants "we want Roman" when Cody's on screen. They chant "we want Roman" when Solo is on screen. The people chanting "we want Roman" over Solo. So stop using the "we want Roman" chants as some sort of proof that the Cody era is failing. God, I feel like I'm finally getting baited by like these comments of just like, I love both of them. So I just don't understand it. All right, I digress. Let's get back into this. The Cody versus AJ match was good overall. Again, I don't like how it ended necessarily. I thought that was a little bit weird. But at the end of the day, I think they did put on a really good match. I love that Mama Rhodes actually hit AJ multiple times. I thought that was kind of cool. It always seemed like that's something she wouldn't do based on the way Cody had been describing her in the past, how she doesn't really want to be involved in that kind of stuff. So I thought that was pretty cool. Really quick, don't forget to check out the Patreon. I am constantly doing reactions to classic matches that you guys are sending me. So if you're interested in seeing my journey of going back in time and watching all of the craziest matches that you guys send my way, that's a great place to check that out. There's also a free tier, so if you just want to check it out and see what it's all about, you can do that before you decide to upgrade. But anyway. All right, next let's talk about the triple threat tag team match for the women's tag team titles. You had Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, Isla Dawn, Alba Fire, Shayna Baszler, Zoe Stark. Got it. That was the first try, by the way. A lot of people look at this match and they're going to talk about Jade's botch. At first, I was kind of on the same page. I was thinking like Jade's still green. She's inexperienced. You know, she's still having a little bit of struggles here and there. But then the thing happened later with Damian, and we'll get to that later, but I'm less convinced this was truly a Jade issue. Overall, I don't even really believe in botches. My personal philosophy is that a botch is only a botch if you let it be a botch. You can make mistakes all throughout. There's so many times I'm sure wrestlers are making mistakes that we have no idea, and we just don't know because they're playing it off and they're improvising because they're entertainers. These are theater kids that worked out a ton, so they know how to improvise when something maybe doesn't go according to plan. So in my opinion, it's only a botch if you let it be a botch and you don't play it off very well. I like the match overall. I feel like this was my first real exposure to Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, and to be honest, I thought they looked pretty good. I thought they looked pretty strong, and I kind of wish I had gotten more lead-up matches. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I did see them in a match and I'm kind of forgetting sometime in recent history, but if I did, I just don't really remember it. I thought Zoe and Shayna actually looked pretty good here, even though they inevitably had to be the ones to take the pin. If you didn't catch it, Jade actually got in the way of Bianca when Bianca was trying to break up the pin that inevitably ended the match. So I don't know if they're going to use that as part of the story, that Bianca is going to be frustrated that Jade got in her way. Maybe they'll even take the botch and make that a part of the story in some way. I mean, you guys thought the Randy not getting his other shoulder down was also a botch, and they played into that too. So I don't know. Who knows? You know, maybe Bianca will say, oh, you messed up this and stuff. I don't know. Maybe this is an opportunity to have a seed planted for something between Jade and Bianca. You knew they weren't going to stay a tag team forever. Although I will say, now that the tag titles are off of them, I kind of hope it stays off of them, because I'd really like some of these other tag teams to get a chance to shine. I'm a big fan of Zoe Stark, and Shayna Baszler's kind of grown on me over the past, I don't know, however many months. So maybe it's been her time in NXT that's helped her grow on me a little bit, but I want to see some of these other tag teams shine. And with only one set of women's titles, yeah, Jade and Bianca can go, you know, feud with each other, then go into the single titles runs and stuff like that. I'm curious to see what the women's tag division can do now that it's gotten a bit of a jolt. Overall, I like the ending. I do appreciate that Scotland got to have a hometown victory. I thought that was pretty cool. It seemed like this was really meaningful to both of those ladies that won, and seeing them get like their flowers, I think they got it from their family. All that was really heartwarming. So I really enjoyed how that match ended up going. Let's talk about Chad Gable going up against Sami Zayn, trying to take his IC title from him. This was a match that is, I believe, it's one of the matches that is going to make Monday Night Raw that's coming up here must-see TV. Forget about the match. The match was great. We know Sami, we know Chad, we know they put on banger matches. I don't care. I'm here for the drama. The pop that the crowd gave when Otis stepped in front of Chad, the Maxine selling the hit to her leg from Chad Gable, seeing Otis take action with inaction by walking away. I was kind of talking about this during the stream when we were kind of talking about how we thought this was going to go. I was thinking that tonight was going to be a night of inaction from Otis, where he sends a message by walking away and not helping Chad Gable. And then Monday Night Raw could be the day that Chad Gable gets in his face a little too much and Otis does something. Although we've seen it twice now, and I kind of want it the third time. I kind of want it to be, instead of Otis just sticking up for himself, I really like what it says about his character, where he can take the heat from Chad. He can take that, that little bit of extra that Chad is giving him that's going over the line. But what's too much for Otis is when Chad Gable goes after Maxine. I love that he wants to protect her. I love that Otis wants to defend her.
So if they do something like that on Monday Night Raw again, and that is what makes Otis snap, I love that about his character, that it's not just him getting pushed too far and getting angry personally, but he's wanting to defend someone else. I know a lot of people wanted Otis to do that turn tonight, but I really think him stepping away and, I don't want to say causing Chad to lose, but him stepping away, not helping Chad win. Also, Maxine hesitating. Maxine telling Otis not to do it. Otis was about to swing on Sammy and Maxine stopped him. So seeing them both kind of come around here, it would have been cool to see Tozawa there. I'm not sure why he wasn't there, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. This story seems like it's very heavily focused around Otis. And that alone, just this moment, made it so Monday Night Raw was must-see TV, but it gets even better later. All right, we got to talk about Bayley and Piper. Something was weird about these entrances, and I've seen some other people talking about it. We didn't talk about it too much in my stream because I wasn't sure if maybe it was just my audio or because I had it turned down a little bit so that I could hear the person in my call. But I saw some other people, I saw Wheezy Blonde specifically talk about it, that it felt like the entrances for both of them, not just Bayley, were weirdly quiet. The pop was very minimal for both Piper and Bayley during the entrances. Now, don't get me wrong, Piper got a heck of a pop in the ring when her name was announced, but because it was strangely quiet for both of their entrances, I don't know. I don't want to say that they just didn't care about the match, because that's probably not true, but it did feel like compared to all the other matches, this one was just weirdly quiet. Overall, I was rooting for Bayley to win this the entire time. I love how strong Piper was made to look. Coming right off of her awesome promo just a couple weeks ago, which I hate what chants, and I'm sorry that some crowds just get bored and when they don't know what to do, they just chant what during a promo. But Piper Niven gave the best promo I've ever seen from her, and she followed it up with probably the best match I've seen from her. So I'm really enjoying the way that Piper is evolving as a character and as an in-ring performer. I'm glad Bayley won because I want her to be champion forever. I'm kidding. But Piper ended up looking really good, and Chelsea Green with the hilarious move of being ejected from ringside, then sneaking back wearing like a luchador mask. You got to look at what she's been reposting on Twitter. She's calling herself Chelstereo. I saw some people say that she's part of the Chel WO. It's very funny. You should go check it out. Chelsea Green as a character behind Piper really adds a ton. I think it is extremely valuable. I want to keep them together, and I'm looking forward to Piper continuing to look strong with Chelsea behind her. Overall, I love the result. I love the match. Bayley looked good as always. It looked like she did kind of land kind of weird on a suplex. I don't know if she like landed on her ass instead of her back or something, but it didn't look particularly good. But other than that, Piper getting to look strong in this match while taking the loss, I'm happy for her. I always think it's really cool seeing a wrestler get a little bit emotional just because, you know, they're feeling that crowd and the crowd is there supporting them, especially if they're going to their home country for a match. It was really cool. I liked it. Now let's talk about the main event. Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest for Damian's title. Now, Drew McIntyre came out to a very big entrance, all the bagpipes and a bunch of other instruments that I don't know. I'm sure it's all Scottish and all that. Very big. The crowd exploding for Drew. Just, it was really cool. I was genuinely happy for Drew, seeing him standing in the ring and just taking it all in. After playing the heel for so many months now at this point and doing an excellent job as a heel, seeing him stand in the ring and take in the crowd and just have the entire place under him and just completely supporting him in this moment, that was really fun to see. I was really happy that he got to have that moment, and it's a good thing he did because that's probably the best moment he was going to have for that night. Damian walked out to a bunch of boos as usual, and it could have either been because he was the heel in this situation, or it could be because, holy crap, that new entrance theme is just not good. A lot of you know me. I'm usually more on the optimistic side for a lot of things, but I really liked Damian's old music. This All Rise situation and this thing they're doing, it has not hit for me. Could just be a me problem. I don't know. It just doesn't hit for me. But this match was really good. Now, earlier we said we were going to talk more about, you know, what these botches could have been for. Damian slipped on the rope very similarly to the way Jade slipped on the rope. So I don't know what's up with the ropes. I saw some people saying that it looked like the turnbuckles were off. Whatever that means, I don't know. But seeing two people have their main most noticeable botches be when they slip on the rope in some weird way or the rope just doesn't catch their foot properly or something. It obviously raises a couple questions. But at the end of the day, Damian flips over the rope, gets his foot caught. It did not look good for his leg or his head for that matter. Almost looked like his head almost slammed right into the side of the ring. Could have fell on his neck. Very weird. Kind of glad he got stuck there for a minute. And there was a little bit of conversation whether or not this was on purpose or if this was truly a mistake. And either way, this is where I'm going to stick with what I said earlier. A botch is only a botch if you let it be a botch. And I thought Drew and Damian played this off very well. So let's assume it was a mistake. If it wasn't a mistake, holy crap, I'm super impressed that you could even accidentally do that or make that look like an accident. But let's assume he was not supposed to get his foot stuck and flip the way he did. I'm leaning on the side of it was probably not on purpose. Drew and Damian played that off so well. Instead of just getting him unhooked, it made sense for Drew to go back and try to take advantage of that moment, start kicking at him, start working on him while he's stuck. And then for Damian to play up that injury for the rest of the match, there were definitely some time, who knows, it could have been truly that injured, but there were also plenty of moments where he was putting a lot of weight on it and he looked okay. So Damian really was just doing a really good job selling that moment for the rest of the match. And honestly, that's what was making a little bit of doubt creep into my mind, thinking that maybe Damian's going to lose this match and you're going to be able to point to the knee injury that caused it to happen. These guys were putting an absolute banger of a match together, and I really like I think there was a part where Drew snuck in a Claymore. It came in from off camera. He didn't do the whole 1, 2, 3. He actually just kind of came out of nowhere and hit Damian with it. That was a moment I thought he was going to win it perhaps. But the story is the referee, I believe his name is Eddie, got chucked out of the ring. He's, incapacitated for X amount of time. Drew pulls off his finisher, pulls off the Claymore, gets the cover, but there's no ref to make the count. The crowd is counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But then the ref slides back in, counts 1, counts 2, and stops. The camera pans out to reveal it's CM Punk with a referee shirt on. Drew gets up and stares into his eyes like he's on his last nerve. This is the last little bit that he's going to deal with from CM Punk. He takes CM Punk, pushes him into the corner, and CM Punk hits him with a low blow, opening up Damian to finally put it away. Eddie gets back in the ring, slow count 1, 2, 3 for Damian to retain. And let me tell you, I am so glad I picked up tickets to go to SummerSlam, because I think CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre at SummerSlam is going to be it's going to be amazing. That feud is going to have so much heat behind it, and so much behind it that's not going to rely on the title. I don't think a title is at all needed for this feud. Drew versus Punk is going to feed generations. What they have cooked up is so believable that Drew just can't get away from him. He's not constantly taunting him, but whenever he gets mentioned, whenever Drew comes out, everybody's chanting CM Punk. CM Punk's up in the rafters. Drew goes after him. Now he's in the ring. He's going and he's trying to, he wins the title at WrestleMania, and CM Punk is right there to contribute to the cash-in until he loses his title. He's going for it in Scotland, in his home country, and he does enough to win. You can say that he did enough to win that match, but there was no ref to make the count. And CM Punk hits him with the low blow, contributing to the end of that match. And just this feud is so good, and I'm so excited to see where Drew and CM Punk go with this. This is just another reason Monday Night Raw is must-watch television. Not only because of what we just talked about with Drew and CM Punk, I'm sure there's going to be some addressing of what just happened there, but then seeing where the Alpha Academy, the Chad Gable, Otis situation, there's so much that needs to be addressed on Monday Night Raw, and I am so pumped for it. Let me know what your favorite part of that PLE was. I'd love to hear it. Do you think the Damian botch was intentional? Do you think it was just really well played off after a mistake? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much to the patrons that are flying up the screen. I appreciate all of your time. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Have a good one, guys.